Chapter 1: The Honda Money Trail. Let's start with the story everyone's whispering about in the Formula One paddock. Honda is funneling a reported $19 million into Aston Martin's operation, and the timing is everything. This isn't charity. This isn't a goodwill gesture. This is a Japanese manufacturer protecting an investment before it even arrives. Honda becomes Aston Martin's full-works engine partner in 2026, when the sport rewrites its entire technical rulebook. Every dollar they pour in today is a dollar that buys influence tomorrow. The clever part is how it's structured. This isn't a sponsorship splashed across a side pod. It's an operational bailout, propping up infrastructure, hiring power, and development capacity. In a cost cap era where teams are legally forbidden from outspending each other on the car, money has to find new doors to walk through. And Honda just found one. The headline calls it a bailout. The reality is a strategic prepayment on a championship campaign that hasn't started yet. And it tells you everything about how modern F1 is really won, not on Sunday, but 18 months before Sunday even exists. Chapter 2: The NBA is breaking. Now pivot to basketball, because there's a crisis hiding in plain sight. The modern NBA is breaking its stars. Not metaphorically, physically. The Ringer's investigation lays it out. Playoff rosters are being torn apart by soft tissue injuries, by Achilles tears, by the kind of breakdowns that used to be career anomalies and are now monthly headlines. Why? Because the game has changed faster than the bodies playing it. Pace is up. Three-point volume is up. Players run further, harder, and at higher intensity than any previous generation. And then we ask them to do it for 82 regular season games, plus a play-in, plus 4 rounds of playoffs. The league sold us positionless basketball as evolution. What they didn't mention was the cost. Every star who can switch 1 through 5, every guard who can rebound like a forward. They're absorbing punishment that the system isn't designed to recover from. And the most damning part? The injuries are clustering around the very players the league markets hardest. The product is consuming its own headliners. That's not sustainability. That's a structural problem. Chapter 3: Warriors burn it down. And speaking of structural problems, look at Golden State. Terry Stotts and Jerry Stackhouse, 2 assistant coaches with serious head coaching pedigree, are not returning to Steve Kerr's bench. On the surface, it's a staffing reshuffle. Underneath, it's a confession. The Warriors' dynasty is over, and the front office knows it. You don't part with veteran lieutenants when you're competing for titles. You part with them when you're admitting the formula has stopped working. Curry, Green, and Butler are still on the roster, but the supporting architecture that won, 4 championships, is being quietly dismantled. Kerr is being given a clean slate, or perhaps being put on notice, depending on how you read it. Either way, this is a franchise in transition pretending it isn't. And here's the connection back to Chapter 2. This is exactly what happens when a star-driven team can no longer rely on its stars staying healthy. You start tinkering with coaches. You start changing systems. You start hoping that tactical innovation can replace what time and injury have taken away. It rarely does. Chapter 4: Cavaliers Find a Pulse. But while the Warriors are dismantling, Cleveland is assembling. The Cavaliers grinding out an overtime win in Detroit to claim their first road playoff victory of the postseason is more than a box score. It's a tell. Playoff basketball rewards teams who can win ugly. And Cleveland just proved they can. The Pistons came in physical, came in loud, came in with a building that hadn't hosted meaningful playoff basketball in years. And the Cavs absorbed all of it, dragged the game into overtime, and walked out with the result. This is the part of the playoffs that doesn't show up in regular season analytics. Composure under noise. Execution when the script breaks. Cleveland has spent 2 years being labeled soft, being told their core couldn't survive a 7-game series. One overtime road win doesn't end that debate, but it tilts it. And in a conference where the Celtics and Knicks are battling their own demons, the Cavaliers quietly cashing in a first road win might be the most important under-the-radar moment of this entire postseason. Chapter 5. Premier League Endgame. Cross the Atlantic, and the Premier League is doing something basketball can only dream of, packing an entire season's drama into a single weekend. Title races, top four scrambles, relegation knife fights, European qualification, and an FA Cup final, all colliding inside 72 hours. The Guardian's preview lists 10 storylines worth watching, but the real story is the compression itself. English AFF